Are you able to tell us a story or a couple of stories of particular women who had made real impacts and real changes that struck a chord with you?
Definitely. Oh gosh, there's so many stories that you could talk to.
I can imagine.
There was one lady that got up and spoke and shared her personal story that she was finding it really challenging within her community with alcoholism and as an on-flow from the alcoholism, domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she really found that challenging and she had to look inwardly because within her own home she had raised her family as a victim of domestic violence. So her husband had modelled those behaviours on her. And then she was seeing it come to life in her home because her son had married and her daughter-in-law had moved into their home and he was doing those behaviours to his new wife.
Oh.
Which was heartbreaking for her to see that her own flesh and blood was role modelling the behaviours that he'd seen in her own house. So she very courageously stood and said, I can't help my community address domestic violence or help be the solution for them until I have the courage to stand up and have that conversation within my own home and stop my son and my husband from doing those behaviours.
And did she?
She did.
Did she have a breakthrough?
She did. And then was, helping other people who were coming forward and asking for her support. But amazing because, she almost oversimplified it. I just, you ask, well, what did you do? How is that possible? She's, well, I stood up to them. I had a conversation. I told them no. It's like, wow.
So she was right there demonstrating some true leadership.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't she?
She really was. And it was so powerful to see how raw she was because, talking about domestic violence or that, that's something that your own husband and son did or does, to you, that's not easy. She's standing amongst her peers and standing with a group of women, from overseas that she doesn't know. But to be that open to say, I had this reflection that I can't help others and I can't make those shifts and be such a hypocrite for my community. What's right is that I have to stand up and address it here first and then I can be part of the change for others.